The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. It is time for the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here on a Tuesday afternoon. And if only you could see what I have seen in that little bit of a break to start the show, just a little commercial break. I hit go live, and then I get a little alert. Like I hear it over my speakers, right? It's a little alert, and it goes, bloop, and it shows me that there's a little box, someone in a little box is there. And they're like, hey, don't put me on right now. I just want to watch the show. And I am so used to just me and the camera. If I don't have a guest, no one's in like the waiting room area. But so now I've got a fat face just staring right at me, judging my every move, judging my every word that comes out of my mouth right now. Because this person could not find their phone. If you've been paying attention to this show for quite some time, you more than likely know who this person is. And then again, like there's a private chat. There's like these things we could talk to each other in the private chat. And he just says, don't put me on. I can't find my phone, and this is the way that I can watch the show. But caveat, if you want to put me on, it's okay. Tommy with the correct guess just right off the bat, knowing right exactly who it was. It is Augustine. As Augustine messaged me here, so if you want a pretty face, if I want a pretty face to join me on the show, then it should be that of Augustine Pimentel. We are live all over the place, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and Instagram. Little Buddies New Mexico joining us over on Instagram along with Talking About It, and our guy, Jesse Carter, Cartwright Productions, joining us over there today. Augustine, do you have pants on at least? Is all I need to care. Okay. You have pants on. So now I can bring you on and not have to worry about inappropriate sightings or someone having to try to find your little cheese curd.
Hey, speaking of pretty faces, you saw my girlfriend yesterday.
I did. She blinked a few times as though she was terrified.
She hates the
As if
can.
she was asking for help. It was very hard, fast blinks, like dee 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 dee. And I feel like I should have called the police.
Yeah, I think she was thinking the same thing because she wanted some stuff that she showed up at Iker's game, and she got some stuff from me that she needed to do, some stuff to her car. You know how it is.
I know exactly how it is. I know 100% how it is. Okay, Augustine. So I'm glad that you're here. I genuinely am. As you know, I consider you a friend, and I consider you to be someone who is always honest with me, no matter how hurt I might become.
Fine, you're pretty.
But you were one of those people at the beginning of the season that told me, Tip, give Matt Eberflus a shot. The Bears had a decent defense before he got fired on fucking Thanksgiving. It was okay. Give him a shot. And I told as many people as I possibly could. I was scared of two things, and it was all the coaching in Dallas. I was wrong about Brian Schottenheimer. The Dallas Cowboys had an amazing offensive season this year. But that defense, the worst defense in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. And this is 4 years after having the worst defense in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. It feels like it's just getting worse and worse and worse each time. Am I vindicated in this and seeing that the Dallas Cowboys fired Matt Eberflus? I'm not vindicated in this at all?
No, just
garbage?
How many injuries did that defense have this year?
Every team has injuries. Look at what the San Francisco 49ers have done with their injuries.
No, but they have an actual general manager that knows what type of players to get. I mean, the Cowboys aren't deep because they gave all the money to, it's the same situation as Cincinnati. Great offense, worse defense.
But again, like the Cowboys are going to be saving money now because of getting rid of Trayvon Diggs, because they don't have to pay Micah Parsons what they were going to have to pay Micah Parsons. Like there's going to be the ability of the Dallas Cowboys to be able to do better. And Tommy's saying, hey, and I know a ton of people are going to say it as well, that the Micah Parsons trade hurt the Dallas Cowboys. I said this since day one. I felt like it was a parallel trade. I don't feel like either team really won a whole bunch on this. But as we move forward and we see that the Dallas Cowboys were able to get Kenny Clark along with Quinnen Williams, still being able to keep those draft picks that the Dallas Cowboys got, now you got to try to sit here and think about, okay, maybe in the long run, this gamble of Jerry's might pay off. But it can't just be the loss of Micah Parsons, right? Like it can't just be that. This defense was bad all around. Like they looked like they couldn't game plan. They couldn't play a man out like a zone coverage to save their damn life. And it was all season long. You knew if the Cowboys were in zone, throw it over the top because it didn't matter who was out there. It was going to wind up being a touchdown.
If you're in a zone and if somebody's going deep on you and you still screw it up, that's on the players. I mean, even in in Pee-wee football, the safeties are taught don't let the receiver get behind you. So it's kind of hard when you don't have a pass rush, when your linebackers can't read where it's a run or a pass, and when your safeties go, are they coachable? That's the thing. Is everything on the defensive coordinator? No, it's not. It's like, are the players good enough to be playing at that level? That's the thing. Do they have football IQ? And everybody talks about it, that football IQ. What it seems like they don't, because if a safety can't get into their head that a player's not supposed to go behind you, there's something wrong with you. Even I know that.
I get it if it's a game or two, right? I totally get it if it's a game or two. Maybe there's something there, but you need to be able to coach your players up to be able to play the damn game the right way. And that was the issue that happened in Dallas this entire season. Is it seemed like a completely undisciplined defense. Terrible, terrible decisions. Whenever it's like a 3rd and 4 and you jump off sides, right? Like
third downs were key this year for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
It was third downs. I mean, they would get to 3rd and manageable by the other teams, but I mean, come on, Tip. I mean, there comes a point in time where it's the players and the coaching. It can't be either or. It's a combination of both. And I think the Cowboys just don't have football IQ on the defensive side.
I wanted to look up right now what was the team that had the most penalties. And I am on NFLpenalties.com.
Ooh.
And right now, the leader of the pack are the Dallas Cowboys, where they had 133 penalties called against them for a total of 1,136 yards. Like that's a lot of penalties, man. And again, like we saw this with the Mike McCarthy team, right? Everyone always blamed Mike McCarthy because this team would get penalties. It's bad coaching. It's this, it's that. Not only are you getting penalties, but you don't know how to play a zone, which should be the easiest thing for anybody to be able to play. You're getting burned on every single play. To me, it has to come down to and again, I get it. You're right. Like there was a lot of injuries. There was a lot of issues and things like that. But it has to also come down to the coaching because I'm looking at a ton of teams in the NFL right now that have survived having injury after injury after injury to key players. The main proponent of this are the San Francisco 49ers. You're missing Nick Bosa along with Fred Warner. Your 2 number 1 guys on defense. You're missing them. And yet you still have a great defensive game plan day in and day out.
Well, look at their players. I mean, come on. Their players really, have and I don't know the rest of the names like those because those are the big ones for San Francisco defense. But, the Cowboys will always be an issue as long as the root cause analysis is still there. And as long as he's still there and still doesn't know how to pick players, and I understand all this. Yeah, you get a coach to do that, to do this. But at the end of the day, the players and the Cowboys' defensive side were not good enough to play at that level and with the responsibility of wearing that star on their helmet. What up, Mr. Bryant?
Gary Bryant tuning in from over in North Carolina. Hope you're doing well, my friend. We are talking about the Dallas Cowboys right now, the firing of Matt Eberflus. I still feel vindicated. I genuinely do.
You might still feel vindicated, but at the end of the day, any coach who was in there would have been fired with the personnel he had this year.
I don't think that's the case, man. The Dallas Cowboys have some players on defense.
I'm making this face because what players? You said it at the start of the show that if your safeties can't understand that in a zone you don't let people behind you. I mean, come on.
My apologies, Gary. You're in Tennessee. You're from North Carolina. I just got excited about the North Carolina connection because, me living in North Carolina for an extended period of time. I want to get to some of the comments here from Tommy saying it was a lack of pass rush that exposed the secondary early on in the season. I'm not making excuses for Boo-Boo Flus, but he was coaching a bunch of idiots on defense, especially at the linebacker position. For once, Augustine is right. They don't have smart players on defense. And then going on to say the 49ers have players with IQs bigger than that of the dodo bird. So clearly, Tommy not a fan of the defensive player on the Dallas Cowboys. But like I said, you look at that defensive line. Sure, it wasn't, like you're missing something with Micah Parsons. You still had Jadeveon Clowney. Yes, I get it. It was, during the season that you got him. He winds up leading the team in sacks. You still have Osa that you paid a ton of money to, right? You gave him a ton of money. He should have stepped up for you. You have Kenny
Did
Clark,
he step
a
up?
great run stopper. You have Quinnen Williams, who's a great defensive lineman. And you can make that face. Quinnen Williams is a surefire Hall of Fame defensive lineman. Like there's no doubt about getting that. And I get it. You got it towards the middle part of the season. For a 3-game stretch, the Dallas Cowboys looked like they were going to be halfway decent, right? Like halfway decent. And then they just reverted back to being what we saw them be at the beginning of the season. Tommy Kanasa killing every argument that I had right now by just bringing up one name, Kenneth Murray. I don't understand how that man is still able to play football. Like he better not have a contract on any team next season. He was always in the wrong gap all the time. That would be the one thing that I would say. He was always in the wrong gap at the wrong time, and it really killed the Cowboys.
Poor wife.
I mean, you never know. You never know.
But I mean, and getting off this, I hate the Cowboys. Yeah, I hate them, but it wasn't all on Eberflus. I mean, I mean, what can you do with people that don't understand professional football? I mean, they might be great in college because they're talent, but in the NFL, it's a lot of smarts, a lot of physicalness. It's everything, and the Cowboys defense just doesn't have the football IQ, and I specify football IQ because they probably got A's and B's in all their college courses.
Well-deserved A's and B's in all their college courses. We know that for sure. For sure, that's one thing that we know. Okay, so like I said, I know that it's a perfect storm of things that have to lead up to a team having a historically bad defense. And I think you look at the Dallas Cowboys, and in every category, they were like second to last or third to last, if not last, except for I think rushing defense, where they were 23rd. That's still not great, but it shows how bad all of that was. It was a perfect storm that led to this.
So
You got
real quick,
Parsons.
Cowboys defense 30th in total defense, 32nd, in other words, last in passing defense.
Yeah.
Last in third down defense, and allowed over 250 passing yards per game, the highest in the NFL.
Yeah. And that right there, right? Like the whole perfect storm of all this stuff that happened. You get rid of Micah Parsons, so now you lose a little bit of a pass rush. You have to go out and sign Jadeveon Clowney in a desperate move to like get a pass rusher, do all that. Trayvon Diggs was hurt basically the entire time. You get rid of him, and now I feel like you have the ability to start over anew. Once you got rid of Matt Eberflus, now you can go out there and maybe go get someone who
there we go,
coaching up the scheme, right? Like that would be something that you have to do, because if you look at the Dallas Cowboys, Tommy is right. The strength was the defensive line. They were, especially towards the end of the season, able to generate a pass rush. But whenever you have the quarterback just dropping back, and it didn't matter how much time he had, was able to just launch the ball 40 yards down the field and hope somebody ran under it to catch it, and that guy would run under it and catch it and be 15 yards away from the defender. It doesn't matter how good your defensive line is. It's all about that back end of the defense. Gary Bryant saying it was a unanimous vote by the organization to trade Parsons. They only have one, maybe two starters that can start for another team. That's wow. Then going on to say Eberflus was stubborn and refused to adapt and listen to his players. No pass rush secondary gets exposed. But like I said, I don't think it necessarily mattered what your pass rush is. I have to go through and look at the stat once again, but I know quarterbacks were releasing the ball faster against the Dallas Cowboys, like just down the field as fast as they can against the Dallas Cowboys than any other team. Like the how they highlight that snap to release? It was like 2.1 seconds. You can't get a pass rush in 2 seconds.
Unless you're David Klingler back in 1990.
The Boz, you should have gone with the Boz. That would have been better.
Well, I remember David Klingler because that was one of the best offensive powerhouses that I've ever seen.
Gary Bryant saying the 2 starters that they have that could start for another team are Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark. That's it. I think Osa would be, yeah, maybe not. I don't know. But again, like, you got to make do with what you got. And the Dallas Cowboys just weren't good. And Tommy putting up like the best comment here so far. All the quarterbacks we faced this season had career games. That's Jacoby Brissett whenever he was on the Arizona Cardinals. This is when he knew the season was just going to go to shit. When Jacoby Brissett was carving up the Dallas Cowboys left and right. And then, later on in the season, when the Dallas Cowboys were making Josh Johnson, a guy that's been on 18 NFL teams, they were making him look like he was a Hall of Fame quarterback. It was wild. It was wild. Tommy saying Osa didn't live up to the contract. He definitely didn't. It was all bad. Everything against the Dallas Cowboys was horrible this year. But you know what they say, Augustine? Whenever you're dead last, there's only one place to go from there. You got to go up. You can't be much worse. You can only go up. So maybe that's what we got to look at with the Cowboys.
I thought you were going to say you can only go to the tip or something like that.
No, we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're 8 minutes away.
I love how you have the countdown clock going on.
That's what she said too.
Away. We're almost there, brother.
Wait, almost there. Anyway, no.
Oh, now everyone knows what you sound like whenever you have an orgasm. Dogman saying, "Hi, I'm here." Is the Cowboys like soccer team? No, it's obviously the NFL, but sure. I have moderators for a reason. But nonetheless, okay, so that's the news with the Dallas Cowboys is what happened with Matt Eberflus. Let's fast forward a little bit here and look at what happened with the Baltimore Ravens. Right?
Oh, poor guy. Oh, I was so sad for him. Oh, no. No. Poor rookie. I mean, the loop. Poor guy.
I mean, that comes and goes. Right? That comes and goes. Tommy, those are on YouTube, but it's on the other, like the vertical YouTube. I got to get this stuff. Like now that StreamYard's giving me all these different things, I gotta figure these little things out. But we got that. Want to give a shout out to our guy Football Talk with Bo, who tuned in over on Instagram right now as well. You can always check out his show, Coast to Coast with Bo. I want to say it's 10 o'clock in the morning here in El Paso, but I got to be able to get some of that stuff going on here. So we had Braden Loop miss that field goal that would have sent the Baltimore Ravens to the playoffs, right? Like, and I get it. I'm with you. That is heartbreaking to watch.
That was so sad.
But it felt like with the Ravens, especially now knowing that John Harbaugh got fired, it felt like with the Ravens, if they didn't make it to a Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, I felt John Harbaugh was going to get fired anyway. But like they needed to make a deep run. They've had the MVP. They've had Derrick Henry. They've had decent defenses. They've had, the weapons to be able to make a deep playoff run. And they just haven't been able to do it. So it felt like to me, Harbaugh had to win the Super Bowl or at least make the Super Bowl, or they were going to wind up firing his ass, which is exactly what they did.
Sorry, my internet is going off and on.
It might not be yours. It might be mine. I almost didn't do a show today because I have been having connectivity issues. Like I got home from work and I had like connectivity issues. So
it's been all of El Paso, by the way. I had a meeting with some people and my Zoom meeting was going in and out. So, but you were fine the whole show until like 30 seconds ago. You went, I just said, whoa, that's the real tip. But anyway.
Tommy's asking, why are there 2 streams on YouTube? It's because I wanted to check out this new feature that StreamYard has where you can go and if you look on the Instagram page, the vertical fits perfectly without being blurred or any of that other stuff. And I was doing the same thing on YouTube. So now I have the landscape and the portrait, so it fits, perfectly. Like all that is working together. Our guy with Football Talk with Bo saying Harbaugh is probably going to coach the Giants. That would be interesting. I think, like, you talk about a young team that's got a lot of talent that comes back from injury, depending on how Cam Scatteraboo comes back, depending on how Malik Neighbors comes back from like those catastrophic injuries. That's an interesting team to go out and coach. John Harbaugh is not going to be unemployed for long. There it is.
My son had it in his backpack.
You got to love it. You got to love it 100%. Football Talk with Bo also letting us know that Finkel just boots it the way that Braden Loop missed that field goal. I understand sports, and like my heart doesn't break very often for somebody, but you saw John Harbaugh walking with Loop as he's kind of like just crying, going to the locker room. You had to feel bad for him.
Now, can you imagine Justin Tucker going?
I'm sure he was while he was on the massage table.
Oh yeah. I felt. Will he be back though?
I don't think
Luke
so.
be back?
I don't think so. Like even if you look at, prior to him being released because of the stuff that was going on, there was like he just wasn't as good as what he had been. Like that's why the Ravens were willing to just walk away from him, because if he was like Brandon Aubrey or
I'm talking about Luke
Jacksonville Cam Little, like if he was one of those two, they would have dealt with whatever they had to deal with. Look at the Chiefs with Harrison Butker, right? Like Harrison Butker is solid. Justin Tucker just wasn't there.
No, see, this is, Tucker, well, whatever he did, but here's Luke's season, by the way. Field goals made, 29 out of 32. So that's a 90.6, accuracy. Longest field goal, 52 yards. Points scored, 128. 6th in the NFL. An extra point percentage, 96% extra points on extra point percentage.
I mean, you got to feel bad for a kicker whenever your biggest moment, the time that you're called upon, and you wind up choking in that type of manner. And it like the snap was good, the hold was good, everything was good. It's just that ball went flying the opposite direction.
But the ball looked like it was going straight. All of a sudden went right. Like at least where I was watching it was like, and then it just tailed off. It so reminded me of Scott Norwood.
Oh, but I'd much rather it be the last game of the regular season where I missed the playoffs because of that kick, as opposed to missing that kick in the Super Bowl and not ever winning the Super Bowl. After you went 4 times, they went 3 more times after Scott Norwood missed that kick and still weren't able to win the damn Super Bowl. That to me is much more devastating than what happened to Luke.
And that's just the tip. No, not yet. No, sorry.
Oh, once again, that's twice that you've been premature.
Yeah, I need the pill.
I mean, we know that. We definitely know that.
Wait a second. How do you know?
I've seen the videos.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
X
I
videos still
subscribe
up.
to your OnlyFans. It's one of the things that I love about you is your OnlyFans. The things that you're willing to do for anybody's request. It is admirable.
When you have 2.7 million, I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just a Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip? Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Augustine left. I don't know what happened. I think he's going to try to log on somewhere else. I don't know. But nonetheless, Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Go check them out today, guys, and make sure you're taking care of yourselves. Look, it's a new year, and you should start with a new you. So instead of being that nasty-ass, over-the-top, hairy type of dude, trim yourself and make sure you're smelling as good as possible with www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all of your male grooming needs. Dogman saying, I think the Ravens are just going to not go this year. 100%. They're not going this year because they're not in the playoffs, Dogman. Richie saying John Harbaugh getting shit canned is one of the worst things to happen to the Steelers in a long time. Our guy Richie tuning in, hardcore Pittsburgh Steelers fan Richie tuning into the show, gloating. Also, got to give you your kudos, my dude. I'm sure you got this a lot over the past week. One hell of a time with the Sun Bowl, with what you all did at the Sun Bowl. It was an amazing time, amazing game. Thank you for representing El Paso the way that y'all did. Absolutely loved it. And then, of course, your Pittsburgh Steelers. Our Texas Tech Red Raiders let us down a little bit, but it's okay. They made it further than I think anybody thought that they could make it. Your Pittsburgh Steelers able to get you into the playoffs. How are you feeling? Like because I've had this debate with a bunch of my friends, Richie. How are you feeling if the Pittsburgh Steelers make a deep run and they keep Mike Tomlin? Because the talk was you got to get rid of Mike Tomlin. Now I feel like they've got to keep Mike Tomlin if the Pittsburgh Steelers make a long run. How are you feeling about that, Richie? Augustine, give me your thoughts on that as well. Oh, it looks like Augustine froze or I froze. I'm not 100% sure what happened. I got to watch things now. Let's see. Oh, I think it is you that froze because I can still see me talking. So there we go. We are good. I'm watching the other streams to make sure.
Did I freeze? Did you freeze?
You are frozen.
Who froze?
You froze.
Did I froze? Did I freeze? You freeze?
Oh, we're gonna have to remove Augustine for a minute. Tommy letting me know. I'm good. That's how I know it was an Augustine problem. I see Augustine's fat face moving once again. I mean, beautiful face moving once again.
I mean,
so if there's any year to finally win a fucking playoff game, it's this year versus Houston at home. If we lose, Mike Tomlin needs to be asking if they would like fries with their meal. I feel so
I thought they were going to go even darker with that one. Fries with your KFC, sir?
Wow.
But I mean, speaking of Mike Tomlin, I mean, has Mike Tomlin ever had a losing season?
No.
The answer is no. Are you going to get rid of the coach that makes you at least competitive? That's the question right there. Are you going to get rid of a guy that really knows how to make things work and at least give you a chance season in, season out? That's the question.
But that's also the thing, right? Is like, so you're competitive, but there comes a point where being competitive ain't enough, right? Like you've got to be able to get over the hump. And sure, Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season, but they've also haven't done jack shit in the playoffs since 2010. So you got 15 seasons of just making it to the playoffs, losing in the first round, right? Like that gets frustrating. But if Mike
it does. Wait a second, it does?
Yeah, trust me, it gets very frustrating. First round exits are all I know, and I get frustrated so much. I hate this. I hate that I love that team. Richie saying that he was going to go the route that Augustine went, but he's in PR, so he learned how to say something. Richie also saying, Augustine, we haven't won a fucking playoff game in 8 years. 8 years it's been since they've won a playoff game. And I get it. Like you can be competitive. Be competitive all you want. But at one point, you've got to be able to get over the hump and win some games in the playoffs.
Yeah, coming from a Cowboy fan. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I know this frustration. I've lived it
Okay.
for years.
Here's a question for you, Tip. Would you like Mike Tomlin in as the Cowboys head coach? And be honest.
I mean, right now, no, because again, Brian Schottenheimer has won me over. Would I have liked him over the last couple of years? What's the difference between Mike Tomlin and Mike McCarthy? Because to me, they're the same damn guy.
Well, there are some differences.
You son of a bitch.
No, I'm just saying, how many Super Bowls does Tomlin have?
He's got one. The exact same.
He's got one.
McCarthy.
What's his record?
In the Super Bowl?
No. I mean, in football.
Overall?
What is? Yeah. I mean, it has to be over 500 for sure.
Oh, well, definitely that, yeah. He's 192, 114, and 2. That is a 62.7% win percentage. However,
come on, man.
In the playoffs, they are 8-11. 8-11 in the playoffs. So you've got a losing record in the playoffs. And you have to remember, at least 3 of those 8 wins came in one season.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think that if Pittsburgh does let go of Tomlin, it would be a mistake. But I don't know. It's just one of those things that I think Tomlin has gained enough traction to go by his own terms, because not having a losing season in the NFL is something different. I mean, how many teams have losing seasons, the Cowboys, and keep their coaches? I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that it wouldn't be a good idea for Pittsburgh to let go of Mike Tomlin. And maybe it's just that people have gotten too accustomed to Mike Tomlin, and maybe the grass is greener on the other side with another coach besides Mike Tomlin. But do Pittsburgh Steelers fans want to take that big risk of having somebody over that doesn't know what they're doing, and having somebody that's been there, done that, and can actually get some wins under your belt?
I think that's the thing, though, right? Like that's what the whole argument is Pittsburgh Steelers fans are tired of just being mediocre. Richie's saying it right here. For years, us Steelers fans have been getting just the tip. And then he slaps his knee because it was a great pun. But like that's the thing, right? Is like at one point, what does it like matter that you just made it to the playoffs if you keep losing in the first round?
I don't know, but at least you're getting to the playoffs. At least you're getting a shot. And I don't know. I think Tomlin is a good coach. He doesn't get those big players all the time, because we know Pittsburgh doesn't spend money anyway, loads of money like other teams. But I don't know. That for me is up in the air, because Mike Tomlin has proven year in, year out to be one heck of a coach.
No, I agree with you. But at what point does the message become stagnant? You know what I mean? Like you've got to be able to move on from that coach. We see it a lot in the NBA. We see it a lot in Major League Baseball. You don't see it as much in football because of the lack of turnover in coaches, and especially in Pittsburgh, right? Like since 1969, they've had 3 total coaches. So like, 3
coaches.
Clearly,
so here's my question to all the Pittsburgh fans out there. Who do you replace Tomlin with, and how much patience do you have with them? That's the thing. I mean, you've been involved in at least playoff runs and all that, you know, you are a very demanding fan base. But who do you replace them with?
Well, I think every fan base is demanding, except for, let's say, the
No, they're not. No, they're not. The Cowboys fan base isn't demanding. They know they're not going to make the playoffs. They know they're not going to do anything. Arizona Cardinals, you know, come on. Not every fan. The Cleveland Browns, they're not, you know, demanding. There's a bunch of teams out there that are not demanding at all. I mean, the most demanding ones are the really crazy ones that don't even get to the playoffs for about 30 years.
I think
so.
you're making the point for me, where it's like the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base is going to be more demanding because they want more than just losing in the first round of the playoffs. And then the Steelers don't spend money. Richie letting you know they have the highest paid defense in the NFL. Well, like they spend a ton of money. What are you talking about, guy?
On defense, which is good. But who do you replace Tomlin with? Who's out there that is at least as good, as consistent as Tomlin? What, you get Schottenheimer to go to Pittsburgh?
I mean, I think I'm with it. Tommy's saying I'd like Tomlin as a Cowboys head coach. I think Tomlin is a hell of a coach. I think we all do. And I think that the team that Dallas had this year would have been a better team if Tomlin was there as a defensive-minded coach. Dogman saying, just read my message, please. This is a 95% chance that one of the coaches leave and go to another team like nothing ever happened. Then the soccer team is not going to win. Wrong football. But yes, I mean that happens all the time with teams, right? Like coaches leave, and it winds up being bad. Look at Pete Carroll, who got fired yesterday in Vegas, leaving Seattle, going to Vegas, and then getting the Vegas Raiders, the number 1 overall pick. I think you struck a nerve with Richie saying very demanding. We have not won a playoff game in almost a decade. I mean, it happens that way, man. It just happens that way. But again,
I don't know. I just think it's a bad idea to get rid of Tomlin like that. He's a proven coach, proven track record. He's never had a losing season, which is all in itself. How tough is that? I mean, how many coaches out there actually have losing seasons like crazy and get contract? This guy has never had a losing season.
Well, whenever half of your division is the Bengals and the Browns, you better not have a losing season.
It doesn't matter, you know, being in the NFL is being in the NFL. You're there, either you have lots of talent or you have amazing IQ or whatever, but I don't know. I think it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea to let Tomlin go. And the thing is, the most important question is, who are you going to replace him with? That's the question. That's the biggest question, because throw me out 3 names, people. Throw out 3 names that you can replace Mike Tomlin with, and coaches that are available and would do somewhat what Mike Tomlin has done with Pittsburgh Steelers.
But that's also the thing, right? Is like, let's say Mike Tomlin goes to another team and he doesn't get the same results that he did in Pittsburgh. Then the question could come up, how much of it is organization versus coach, right? Look at the whole Bill Belichick thing. Like the whole argument there was it Brady? Was it the organization? Was it Bill Belichick? Well, one of those people has been very bad very recently, while the other ones have won a Super Bowl and then are now in the playoffs, right? So
okay, you went one side of the coin. What if Tomlin goes to another team? Let's say the Cowboys and Cowboys under Tomlin win a Super Bowl. What happens then?
I'm with you. Like, I would love to see like, this is the thing. If Pittsburgh moves on from Mike Tomlin, he's not going to be unemployed for very long.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with like John Harbaugh. And then why not, if you're Pittsburgh, why not go after someone like one of those, you know, like hot new coaches, like offensive coordinators, right? Nobody would have thought that the Jacksonville Jaguars going into week 18 would have been fighting for the number 1 seed in the AFC whenever they first hired Liam Cohen, and he couldn't even say Duval correctly. Right? Like no one would have thought that. No one would have thought that the Chicago Bears would be as good as the Chicago Bears are with Ben Johnson as their head coach, because no one believed in that team with Caleb Williams. Like there's so many sides to this thing, right? Like, so you can say, who do you replace them with? Well, you never know until you actually do it, right? Like I was on the
all right.
I thought the Cowboys were bad.
Pittsburgh, do it. Fire Tomlin and let's see where the cookie crumbles, because that's the same sentiment people are saying. Let's elect Donald Trump.
We're basically the same guy, me and Mike Tomlin.
There's a few differences.
Just a few small differences. Mike Tomlin has no while someone else doesn't.
Yeah, someone doesn't look at their daughter. Well, anyway.
Wow. But I mean, so like you asked a question right now, right? Like, who is out there that you would replace Mike Tomlin with? I mean, there's college head coaches probably get. There's, offensive coordinators are out there. There's also John Harbaugh, right? Like, why not?
Sorry, the Harbaughs are overrated.
I used to think that, but I think Jim Harbaugh has like some sort of leprechaun or something that makes him super lucky. That dude just keeps winning and winning and winning, and I don't understand how.
Like I said, they're, I don't know. The Harbaughs are. It's like watching 1982 football, where you have some outs, some slants, and some very good players with you. Sorry, they do not convince me at all.
I mean, yeah, I guess we got to see Jim do it in the playoffs, and it's going to be hard for the Chargers here in the playoffs as well. I think that offensive line is going to be the thing that winds up killing them, because they just keep letting Justin Herbert get the shit knocked out of him left and right. But it is what it is. Okay, so let's look at it this way. Let's look at the AFC playoff picture right now, where you have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on what I think is the best defense in the NFL with the Houston Texans. Pittsburgh's more than likely not going to win this game at home. So what do you do then, right? Like you have a ninth season, another playoff loss for Tomlin. It's got to be the end of the road.
Well, for your logic and some of the fans here logic, it is. But what if he wins? It's a home game for the Steelers. It's a home game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like again, you're missing it. I'm saying that I want the Steelers to win and go further, because I want Tomlin to stay there, because I think Tomlin's a hell of a coach. But if they lose that game and you get your 12th playoff loss, your 9th straight season losing a playoff game, if Tomlin was a coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm giving you these exact same stats, you're telling me, oh, they got to fire him, Tip, aren't you? If he's the coach of UTEP, and you keep getting to bowl games, but you can't win a bowl game, you're telling me to fire him, aren't you?
Wait. You said UTEP and bowl game in the same sentence. That's like saying Beetlejuice 3 times. Be careful again. Be careful.
But you get what I'm saying.
No, I know what you're saying. I just think it's a stupid idea.
Tommy's saying what he wins and loses in the divisional round. I think that he's in the same category with Jim Harbaugh, or John Harbaugh, rather. I think they have to make deep runs into the playoffs, or it's the end of the road. And it's just that way because look at like the last 2 years. It's been that narrative surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers of they've got to win. They've got to do something. They've got to do all this stuff. Granted, I'll agree with you. The last couple of years, they haven't had the horses to really say that this is a Super Bowl contending team. I think that, them making the playoffs this year, I think whenever the season started, I was wrong about the whole thing. I thought the Steelers would be the 3rd best team in that division, but they win the division. They're in the playoffs right now. But at what point do the fans just get tired of, okay, we made it to the playoffs, but we're not doing anything?
I don't know. You know, with a legacy coach like Tomlin, it's a hard call. It's a very hard call because, like we've stated again, it's like beating a dead horse. He's been good for so long. Um, it's hard. I mean, and I'm not a Pittsburgh fan, but Pittsburgh Steelers fans, at least they've shown they're tired of Tomlin, and probably it's because of the same person for a gajillion years, and they want change. But is that change going to bring whatever they want to fruition? I don't know. I really don't know. And the grass is always greener on the other side, and maybe it's not. That's the question right there. It's a very interesting question. The thing is, who do you, at the end of the day, who do you replace Mike Tomlin with? And it's not just Tomlin at this point of time. I mean, he's going to take his entire staff. So what kind of offensive coordinator comes? What kind of defensive coordinator comes with the head coach you're going to put? That's going to determine the way that they play. Are they going to respect Pittsburgh's tradition of, being this hard-nosed team, or are they going to go a completely different way?
I'm looking to see who Pittsburgh's offensive coordinator is and what their offensive rankings have been, because they are not a good offensive team. So, like, you lose that offensive coordinator, I think you're good with it. I think where Mike Tomlin pays dividends is, like, what he's able to do with, like, that defensive mind that he has that Tommy mentioned a little earlier, right? Like, that's where it comes in and really helps the team out. Like, your team's going to be a tough, hard-nosed defense, and maybe, just maybe, you're able to pull something off. Tommy asking, dude's never had a losing season, right? No, he hasn't. And again, his winning percentage is insane. Whenever you look at that 192 to 112 with 2 ties, like, that's an amazing win percentage. He's been the coach there for 19 seasons. Like, but you've got 1 Super Bowl. You've been to the playoffs almost all the time. That's when the questions have to start being asked, right? Like, is your message becoming stagnant? And I do think, like, if Mike Tomlin were to go somewhere else, it would look weird to all of us, right? Like Jordan wearing 23 with the Wizards. It would look super weird to all of us. But it might be what he needs to, get a better franchise behind him. And it might be what Pittsburgh needs, right? Like it could be a net positive for both, as opposed to just knowing, okay, we'll go, 9-8, we'll make it to the playoffs, but we're going to lose in the first round.
It's a hard question, and I would not like to be that front office right now, because it's a very hard decision. And the fans might have these knee-jerk reactions, but it's probably one of the hardest decisions that anybody's going to pull, because you don't get rid of somebody like that easily.
But that's the thing, is I don't think it's easy. Whenever you give somebody 19 seasons and you've gone 15 without winning the Super Bowl, you've gone 8 straight without winning a playoff game, I feel like he's gotten a lot more leash than what most other coaches would have gotten.
I don't know. It's a hard one for me, because I realize how good Tomlin is, and almost any of the other teams would love to have Tomlin. You mentioned right now that you would have loved to have Tomlin before all this stuff happened. So
no, I mean, even with all this, even with this being, what it is, like his record being this way, I am of the mindset you keep Mike Tomlin. But since there's been rumblings the last 3 years now, if they lose this first round of the playoffs, I can see both sides of it, I guess is what I'm saying, right? Like, I can see keeping him because you have that consistency. But I can
so we got 5 minutes left until the show ends. Give me 3 names that Pittsburgh Steelers fans would be happy to get and replace Mike Tomlin. And And the thing is, are you going to go headhunter mode and go after a coach that's in another team, or are you going to go out there someone who is actually available?
I mean, we see that all the time. It happens. You go after someone who's on another team, right? Like there might be a great defensive coordinator. I think if you're the Steelers, you're probably going to change what you've had with Mike Tomlin, which would be you want to be a more offensive generated team. So you might go after like whoever a big, hot shot offensive coordinator might be. I was asked this question, bro, what if the team's best player gets injured and the coach just takes a break for a while? You clearly don't watch sports because it doesn't happen that way. Players get injured all the time. Coaches don't just walk away. Oh my, the best player's hurt. I can't coach. It doesn't happen this way. I don't think it even happens in high school. I don't think it happens in middle school this way. So that'll never happen. With Tomlin, though, like I said, I agree with you when it comes to I like the consistency. I like knowing that your team is going to be in the playoff conversation all the time. And once you make it to the dance, anything can happen. But at what point does that become stagnant? At what point do both of you just need to get a different change of scenery?
Hey, that's what I told my girlfriend. She doesn't get it. She's latched onto me like,
We'll walk right into that one.
I don't know. That's probably one of the hardest ones during my lifetime that because the other legacy coach that I thought was never going to get fired and he did is yours truly, Tom Landry.
Yeah, and I guess those are different circumstances, right? Like,
yeah, completely different. But I'm just talking about coaches that were above and beyond what they always did for the team.
Yeah. And again, you also have to remember, like, the reason why Tomlin was fired was because the original ownership of the Cowboys didn't want to or not Tomlin. Landry was fired is because the original ownership of the Cowboys didn't want to pull the trigger. They wanted to sell the team to somebody that would pull the trigger for them, right?
Yep.
And it ultimately winds up being, that asshole Jerry Jones. But it's to me, like, it's apples and oranges, right? Because
hi, Jerry. He said it, just in case you're watching.
Yes, Jerry, I said it. I've been an apologist for you enough times that maybe you can let this one slide. How many times have I been the one to like defend Jerry Jones? I'm not used to being in that thing. It was kind of nice to be critical of him there for a minute.
Yeah, I thought I was I was in Pittsburgh for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Your name was Miguel Titon, and somebody else was
All right, Augustine, I think it's about that time for us to go ahead and call it a day. We're going to be on tomorrow, everybody. Hopefully my internet is better. I'm sweating right now because I think my internet's going to shit because one of my feeds froze over on my left-hand side. So now I got to see, oh my God, what's going on here with all this stuff. But Augustine, it's been a pleasure as always. I appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know you're in your car. It looks like you've been in a parking lot for at least the last 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm waiting for her.
Okay. Well, hopefully she joins you soon. Everybody, I want to thank you so much for supporting the show. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.
Go Cowboys.
Hey, there we go.